Okay, so I've been dressing up this electrical panel here. Before it was just plain on the wall, and just you see the exposed box and the flange would overhang, and I had different ideas, but this seemed to be the most viable. I'm caulking it around as I do it because I can't really put an inside corner bead in there anyway. And if you do caulk the proper way, it'll work with not pulling away. A lot of times you have to have a wall that's painted and so on for the caulk to actually bond. And when you put this piece on, you want to fill that up with caulk before you put this on so it fills the whole space. Then when you push this in and it squeezes out, you take the excess off, and then later you come and put a fillet in there, and that usually does pretty well at not pulling away. Now, if you did that up at the ceiling, like depending on the way your trusses and things are, if you have scissor trusses in your house where they can kind of flex a little more, sometimes you'll still see, you know, things pull apart up at the ceiling. But if your item is fastened to the same wall, this is usually always going to work. You know, sometimes ceiling joints don't work with caulking, but for this case it will. All right, you know, this is me straightening up what was there. Somebody had some one bys that were they were just a little crooked. They kind of went out this way, and so I squared everything up. You can see it's pretty square, except for the distortion of the camera lens. There's gonna be a little bit of what looks like a curve, but it's pretty square. So here, rather than tapering this off, you go up. I stopped it here and then put the 3/8 shim there. Now this is straight, and then afterward I came in with that polyurethane glue, which doesn't expand like the spray foam can does. It goes in. If you can leave it, it'll set up and get hard. It's a lot harder, and then that acts as the shim for the rest of that. That's one thing I've developed over the last few years. Secondly, the outside corners, they need to be durable. So I'm going to put some outside corner beads on here, because this being a utility room and this door coming and, you know, hitting that. Later I may put a stop down there on the floor to keep that from hitting, but in case they don't get to it, I'm gonna take care right now. But there's still more to do, but what I'm gonna focus on here is I want to show you how a cabinet maker does outside corner beads for drywall. And you know, it's not absolutely necessary, but there are just certain things about when the lines, like for instance, the outside edge of the cover for this electrical panel goes on here, and you've got a short distance. It's going to lay about here. So you got this to here. When you get down to some place like this, when it's that short of a distance, you'll notice that flare out at the bottom as when you fill in that with the mud, and I don't like that. So I'm going to show you how a cabinet maker does the outside corner beads. Okay, first I'm going to show what I'm talking about. Then I'll break it down out where it's easier to show it. But I want to show basically where I'm going to be doing the outside corner beads. All right. Well, this is too long to go in here. All right. But you get your 3 different angles. It's like this piece would go here, this piece here, even though it's short as well, and this piece here. So this is where they would be going. All right. So let me take you over to a different place to show you. We're gonna pretend that what I showed you over there has been laid down on its back like this. Okay, so here's the vertical. There's the vertical one. Here's the leg that goes toward the wall, and then this is the leg that goes horizontal across the front. All right. I mean, already you can kind of see what's going on there. If I get it set right, here we go. Okay. So this is what we're after. Now, these corner beads have an acrylic piece in there, and they're thicker, and these are the no coat variety. Like, you don't need to coat this part, just this outside loose paper part. Okay. So because they're thicker, you don't want to overlap like this, because then it's just too thick, and you see that when you step back from there, and it's fine if someone's fine with that look, that's fine. I'm not saying that you have to do it this way. This is just how I do things. What I do is pick one where you can just cut it on a saw, the paper and the acrylic, or it could be a metal bead. Same thing applies. Where you just cut that and you're done. Okay, 45, you got a point. All right. Then you pick one that, I mean, you can do two other ones where you got one where you peel it back, cut it, and then you leave the other, and so on. I just chose to do the vertical one this way, and then the one going to the wall, I just did one. One was cut everything off, and the other one peeled back. Okay, so you just slowly peel the paper back. If you try to go too fast, it might tear the paper, but just slowly peel the paper back, and then hold that back while you cut on the miter saw. So you cut that acrylic off, all right? And just get the extra fuzziness off. Okay, so when you do this, you're gonna, I mean, you can use some kind of paper glue if you want, but mud usually works. You just want to get some mud, thin mud in there, so that this will stick back down when you set it. So we got the paper that covers that miter. Otherwise, if you just did a miter, like, let's see, like this, over time, that might show up, that might crack. There might be a crack there. That's just my experience. You know, maybe you put a little caulk in there. That's fine too. My experience is if you don't have paper tape going over the joint, it's gonna show up later on. So anyway, that's how a cabinet maker like myself does outside corner beads, like so. I hope that helps.